Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Launchpad session here at PegaWorld 2025. I'm John Huehn. I head up all things Launchpad here at Pegasystems, and I will tell you that we have so much great stuff to share with you this afternoon. So let's get started. In the next 2 hours, we are going to talk to you all about how AI plus Launchpad's powerful platform equals the fastest way to build your new SaaS solutions or to boost your existing SaaS solutions that maybe you built before you met Launchpad, or to replace the tech debt-laden, expensive, human resource-intensive software applications that might be underserving your business or possibly even holding your business back. That was that one. And then we're going to talk about how Launchpad is now the best commercial partner for your business with some exciting new go-to-market plays that we're just launching and our Launchpad unit usage model that slashes your development and infrastructure costs. Along the way, we'll make some announcements. We're going to show you some things that you have never seen before, and we're going to hear from some great clients and speakers like Fiello and Aspiro and AI for Process, and we're even going to hand out our first ever Launchpad Provider Awards. It's going to be a great time. You can get excited. But before we get there, because this is a Pega conference, and many of you know Pega incredibly well, I need to pull out the Men in Black pen trick, and I need to erase your memories and any preconceived notions that you might have. From this point on, when you think about Launchpad, I don't just want you to think about the traditional Pega use cases and how you might take them to multi-tenancy. I want you to focus on really any B2B SaaS use cases that will build, strengthen, or fix your business with new software or by enhancing or replacing your legacy software. Because that's what Launchpad's all about. It's blue sky time. Launchpad is a platform on which you can build and manage really any B2B SaaS application or AI-powered solution that can be consumed by multiple customers or subscribers. And our mission is to make that as easy and cost-effective for you as possible. To do that, Launchpad takes all of the fundamental but non-competitively differentiating components that every SaaS provider has traditionally had to spend time, money, and resources on, like your cloud, your database, your multi-tenancy, and we just give that to you. Managed, scalable, and with the highest levels of security, no ops team required. Then on that base, to help you accelerate your build, we give you Launchpad's AI-powered and low-code development capabilities, our workflow automation, our reporting and insights, UX design, and integration capabilities that enable you to quickly and easily develop your application or AI-powered solution. Then, we give you everything you need for subscriber management, the ability for subscribers to uniquely configure your application, your identity management, usage reporting, and almost everything else needed to make it easy for you to onboard and administer your subscribers. Launchpad taking care of all of those things enables you to shift your focus from DevOps and development and coding to IP development and driving differentiation and crushing your go-to-market. But it's not just that. Launchpad's pricing model is usage-based and makes it incredibly cost-effective for you to get started with Launchpad and then to quickly grow your business and scale your margins. The model is all predicated on Launchpad Units. Launchpad Units are little measures of the work that our platform performs for your team and your subscribers while they're engaged with your application. It's the reads and writes of data, the moving and automation of work through your workflow. And we're incredibly transparent about how and when they're consumed. For example, we typically suggest that every Launchpad journey start with a blueprint. As you can tell, I created one before we came down here that was all about wowing an audience at PegaWorld like this. All right? You can take your completed blueprint and before you even start building, feed it into our unit estimator on launchpad.io to determine how many units your application is estimated to use on a monthly basis. This should give you a very good sense for your economics with Launchpad, which I expect will get you excited enough to start building. Then, once you're building in the Launchpad platform, and this is brand new. I am just sharing this with you guys for the first time today. You can put your app into preview mode, and as you use your app in preview like a customer would, with the simple click of a button, you can see how many units your app is using. Optimize your app, optimize your units, all in real time. And finally, of course, in your admin dashboard, you have full visibility to the consumption of Launchpad units across your applications and subscribers to support you in the management and growth of your business. So let me break this down. Launchpad units are designed to right-size your cost of goods sold and grow your margins. The Launchpad platform, with its AI-powered and low-code development capabilities, gets your innovation to market faster and lowers your operating costs. You can then reinvest these savings and benefits into your IP, differentiation, and go-to-market to grow and retain your revenue. And if you really want to get your CFO and your finance team on the screen, they're excited, dust off my favorite economic term from the early 2000s and tell them that you will dramatically impact their EBITDA with Launchpad. And if you need the formula to calculate EBITDA, I will gladly ask an LLM for that later for you. So for the past 2 years, because of what comes out of the box with Launchpad and our commercial model, we've told you that Launchpad is the best platform on which to build, deploy, and operate new SaaS solutions. And that is still just unbelievably true. If you have IP and you want to turn it into enterprise-grade SaaS product, there is nowhere that you can do that faster or more cost-effectively than on Launchpad. But for those of you who have already built SaaS types of software that you're delivering to your customers, whether that's core product for you software companies, or whether for you global SIs, that's the software that your colleagues provide through their tax practices, their HR work, consulting, and other services, you should know that companies are now coming to Launchpad to enhance their legacy software with the integration of AI, workflow automation, and frankly, just faster app development. They're just snapping Launchpad into their existing products through our web embed capability and extremely quickly starting to reap the benefits of Launchpad. But I'm even more excited about the fact that more companies are now coming to Launchpad to fully break free of their legacy architecture and their platform providers. Because maybe they're like you and your company. Maybe you have software that's built on old technology. It takes teams of people to maintain it. It's costly, and it's way too hard to deliver new innovation on. Maybe you've hated that software for years, but it's just always been too expensive, too much of a pain, or too hard to do anything with it. But today, that has all changed. With the power of GenAI and Pega Blueprint and Launchpad, the lift is now light, and the benefits make re-platforming existing software to Launchpad a no-brainer. And to help me show you just how easy that can be, I'm going to invite Drew Piekarski, our VP of Product Management, to the stage. So Drew, come on up here. Thanks for joining me, man. This is great. So Drew, I have a mission for you, and I think that you may want to tag in maybe Bhavna and Frank. Are you up for a little mission activity? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great, because I need you to show this team of people how quickly and easily companies can build apps or migrate their older offerings onto Launchpad to get the benefits that I've just been talking about. Okay? But there's some specific new stuff that I want to show them. Are you flexible to go after some new stuff?
Let's see what they are.
All right. So the first thing I want you to do, I want you to take some legacy software that you're familiar with, and I want you to grab the user guide or training materials, any kind of documentation you have about that, and I want you to build a blueprint from that legacy documentation.
Yeah.
Okay? That's good? All right. And then once you've built the blueprint, I'd love it if you could show them an agentic conversational interface that they could use with their software.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Easy. And then I think you might want to bring up Bhavna, because then I want to actually turn your blueprint into functioning, working software on Launchpad.
Sounds good. Bhavna, you good?
Great. Good. All right, Bhavna, and then I want you to enhance that new app with some GenAI, and if you wouldn't mind maybe showing some vibe coding, that would be great. And then I want us to maybe show the people how we can transform the way that clients get work done with AI. And then finally, maybe Frank could come up to accelerate some third-party integrations for us.
We're good.
Okay, Frank. All right, Drew, that's the mission. You up?
Mission accepted. Let's do it.
Go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for having me. So, like John said, my name is Drew Piekarski. I'm the Vice President of Product Management here at Pega. And if we can move over to the... So today, I'm going to show you guys how you and your businesses can really leverage Blueprint and Launchpad to accelerate, bringing apps to market. And with that, I'm going to use Launchpad.io. So before I get started, who here has actually created a blueprint? Show me some hands. All right, there we go. That makes me feel good. All right, so you're very familiar with this screen. And you've probably come to this screen and you've given it an industry or a sub-industry. But instead of doing that today, I'm actually going to leverage assets that I know your organizations already have. You guys have user manuals, requirement docs, images of your the apps that you have in market already. Maybe you have some more specific ones like DDLs and Swagger docs. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to import a user manual of Stellar Banking app. This is a banking app for U+ Bank that allows us to onboard new clients and do some loans. So simple as uploading the manual and clicking Analyze. The Blueprint agent is now going out and going to analyze that entire document for you. So while it's doing that, let me actually show you what that document looks like. So you're familiar with this. It's a user manual, table of contents. It probably has some introduction of what the app does, its purpose, maybe who's its target audience. It has maybe a system overview, maybe even some architecture images or documents in here. And if it tells you a little bit about data or some of the integrations it has, it gives you a little bit of information. As you can see, if I slide back to the Blueprint agent actually identified all the right materials out of this. It identified the industry, the workflows, the data objects, and the personas. So let's move into this Blueprint. Like I said, it understood that it was banking, retail banking, customer service, and it filled out the full functional description for U+ Bank in the Stellar Banking app. As I go in deeper, it shows me that I have 3 major workflows: a new account, a loan application, an account closure. These look good. If I wanted to, I could add to them or have AI generate more. But for the sake of this demo, this looks really good. Now, we've been working a lot in Blueprint, so I'd say there's a lot of deeper capabilities that you probably aren't familiar with. We obviously have the happy path stages and steps, but we've added alternate stages and case hierarchies. Now, even dive into any of these, I can see you can now add fields to every of these screens. What's the data I need to capture on this step to get me going? We've added new step types for approvals and decisions, generating documents, but an important one is actually generative AI. How are you leveraging AI in your own processes to bring differentiated apps to market? Now, if we move over to the case data model, it extracted a lot of great information. Not only just some what I'll call simple scalar fields that are required for a new account, but some of the major relationships and integrations. So you can see down here with account and customer profile. And a great way to view these as well is our new relationship viewer. So you can see clearly that this new account opening has some data that's going to be stored locally in Pega, but it also needs DocuSign and Experian to go out and do some integrations. A very simple way that we just extracted that information from that document. If I exit out. So continuing on data and integrations, I can see the other data that I might integrate with, and of course the DocuSign Experian as well. And at any point in time, you can still leverage assets that you have, DDLs, OpenAPI, or Swagger docs. So it's not just one and done from that first document. Leverage your assets that you already have continuously throughout the blueprinting process. And lastly, over to personas. So I can see a list of the great personas that extracted from the document. And if I dive in a little bit deeper, I can see what's their security model, what workflows can they access, or what data can they access. And if I want, I can even ask generative AI to continue this. So again, the generative AI gives me something to start with here. What data I can create, what data I can read, and what have you. So really getting deeper into this application. So lastly, we'll move into the summary. So I have a full, as I spent maybe an hour or two, I have a full documented application that was literally a user manual 4 minutes ago, now into a functioning application. And why the summary is great, I really love seeing and feeling this application. So I always love to preview my app, right? And with the new live preview, you can actually see some of these details. You can go in and see what does it look like to onboard a new account. I can walk through each of the steps, the fields I collect, the stages I transition to. You can see some of the complex data structures I have, the data relationships and data models I might need to have. And also that you guys probably know, we have ways that you can integrate this with a series of channels. But we know that in 2025, one of the ones that is coming up most importantly is how do I leverage agents and AI as part of this? So with Launchpad, every workflow is agentic, right? The idea that you can actually walk through step by step in an agentic conversation right here. So on the right-hand side, you're going to see this conversational agent. And you can see it's already identified some of those workflows that are in the blueprint that I can leverage. And I can come in here. I want to buy a new home. Can you give me some cash? If any one of you want to give me some cash, that'll be great too. So I'm going to say, hey, let me go. And the agent is actually going to identify the proper workflow. It's identified that I need a loan application. And it's now going to start walking me through some of those steps. My name is Drew Piekarski, and I live at 1 Main Street in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I start providing it some information, answering its questions. Now, while you see the conversation happening on the right, what's really important is I have this opportunity to peek behind the scenes and see what's really happening. The agent has actually created a case. It's initiated that loan process that it extracted from that user manual. It's now walking me through the first steps of data collection. And I can even continue here and say, yeah, I need about 500K. And you'll see that it's going to walk continuously through it to the point that it's finalized the loan application, has all the right details, and has moved on to underwriting or whatever might happen in the back office. So really amazing that from a user manual that it was an old application into Blueprint, spending some time there and making it real. You might be like 50, 60, 70, even maybe 80% complete with your app spinning here. But to finish that last 20%, I'm going to ask Bhavna Balani to come up on stage, and she's going to show you 2 things. One, how we're going to use AI to continue developing the app, helping it accelerate development. And 2, how you guys can actually leverage AI in your own applications and bring them to market for differentiating. Thank you.
Thank you, Drew. Hello, everyone. I hope all of you are as excited as I am for PegaWorld 2025. Can we switch to the slides? Thank you. So speaking of Blueprint, do you know as many as 10,000 blueprints get created in a month? Yeah. So the blueprint that Drew just created for Stellar Banking app, I have imported that blueprint in Launchpad. And as you can see, the loan application and new account opening case types are already loaded into my application. And let's see how this blueprint looks like for when we offer it for the runtime and users. So this is great. I do want to continue to build this application further out and leverage GenAI-powered rule authoring for that. We see a tremendous opportunity by pairing low-code platform with generative AI. Creating applications and building complex business logic becomes much more easier when developers receive AI assistance. And let me show you how. So I have a new account opening case type here, and I want to check the eligibility criteria of an account holder before I proceed with account onboarding. I'm back to my case designer in new account opening case type. I have a decision shape for an eligibility criteria. So let's start building this business logic. I'm going to open the decision rule, and I'm leveraging AI-powered expression builder and asking it to calculate the age of account holder and check if it is 18 years older. It's generating an expression behind the scene. We are sending the prompts, Pega's data model, all the suite of functions, also Pega's expression language. And as you can see, it came back with a very valid expression that I can add to my app and proceed with building further application. So what you just saw is, in few seconds, I added simple business logic to my application, without learning Pega's expression language. But you can build complex business logics to do expressions that can perform data manipulations, dynamic calculations, and et cetera. So this is great. My new account opening case type is looking good. I want to go back to the loan application case type and build it out further with GenAI assisted application development dev agent. And I will show you how this dev agent is going to help us enhance the finalized loan stage and complete it further. We are leveraging vibe coding for GenAI assisted application development, and it is very promising. I'm really excited to show you early look for some of the work that is in progress. So I'm back to my case designer, and I'm going to open loan application case type and going to bring up a chat assistant that's powered by AI application development agent. We're going to ask it to implement the finalized loan stage. There's a lot happening on that side of the chat bot. You can see that it's asking it if you want to add fields for approval status, approval notes, and et cetera. It's also adding those fields to the view. And it's going to show me how my view looks like after adding those fields. So this is great. And now it's analyzing, does it need to update the action added to the process? It is going to modify approve loan application action. And let's see how it's going to look like when I preview my application in runtime. So this is great. I'm in my loan application and approving loan application stage. As I can see, all the fields look great, and I can perform this action. But before I go ahead and publish the version of this application, I want to apply and change the theme. So let's go back to the chat agent and ask it to apply purple and gray theme. And it is determining, are there any existing themes it can leverage? If not, it's going to go ahead and create one. After creating theme, it's going to apply main and primary, secondary background schemes, and et cetera. So this is how my purple and gray theme looks like in design time. In the runtime, if I go ahead and create a loan application case type, yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I think I'm ready to roll with this application. So I know there is a lot going on in that assisted application development. I just want to highlight that we just created a few set of rules, views, fields, actions, and all integrated into the workflow, and we could see it runtime. And all of this was just with a natural language input. So we just saw that AI-assisted development can boost developer productivity. Now let me show you how you can leverage it into your workflows. By integrating generative AI, you can transform the experiences for end users and subscribers. With out-of-the-box Connect GenAI rule in Launchpad, now you can integrate generative AI at your fingertip. Let me show you how. In my new account opening case type, I have a use case that I want to send out an AI-generated welcome letter. And I want to personalize this letter before I complete the onboarding process. I mentioned about the Connect GenAI rule. I'm going to go ahead and create one. So upon the create, I'm providing the name and description in simple text. And we are leveraging generative AI to give you system prompts and user prompts so that it gives a quick start on generating the welcome letter. Now, for the purpose of this demo, I have edited my welcome letter Connect GenAI rule. I have also added the fields for personalization. So let's see it in running. I'm going to go ahead and complete onboarding process for Evelyn. And as part of approving the account opening, I will generate a welcome letter. And as soon as I hit submit, behind the scene, we are sending all the prompts that you just saw, and there you go. Nicely written, professionally generated, personalized welcome letter is attached to the case, and it will be sent out to Evelyn upon account opening. So as you could see how easy it was in integrating generative AI into your workflow, you can leverage it for data transformation. You can leverage it for personalization. You can leverage it for summarization and other use cases into your application. So with leveraging generative AI, we can accelerate development. Now let me invite Frank Apap to further talk about accelerating development by accessing pre-built integration capabilities with Launchpad boosters.
Well, thank you, Drew and Bhavna. It is absolutely great to see how AI, through vibe coding, Blueprint, and Connect GenAI, is transforming how fast we can build applications with Launchpad, but also how powerful these applications can be. Now, I'm really excited to be here to announce another new Launchpad innovation to help accelerate your businesses, a concept we call boosters. So what's a booster? Well, basically, a booster is pre-built functionality that helps accelerate your application development. They often can be installed with a single click and integrated into your apps in just a few minutes. They are perfectly aligned with Launchpad's core mission, which is to let you spend your valuable time doing the things that truly differentiate your businesses and your applications. So we've organized boosters into 4 categories. We've got integration boosters. You can think of things like DocuSign or Twilio integration. We've got AI boosters for connecting to specialized AI models or implementing common AI workflow patterns. We've got case management boosters for things like routing and approval patterns. And last but not least, we've got UX boosters. These may be pre-built components for things like a calendar widget, or even code snippets for things like web embed. So it's easy for you to take your Launchpad application and embed it directly in an existing website, whether it's your own website or your customer's website. So with that, I'm really excited to announce the 27 boosters available for Launchpad for today. You can install all 27 of these today. So, unexpected applause. So we've curated this list as the 27 to get started with, and they cover a wide array of use cases. We've got some AWS services. We have a really cool Google Calendar integration, and we've even got a Stripe integration, because hey, who doesn't like getting paid? So this is just the beginning. We've got more boosters on the way, currently in development. We should have a few more by the end of the month. We also want to hear from all of you. What boosters would help accelerate your application development and help your businesses most? So now that we've seen the list of boosters, let's see a few of these in action. So as Drew mentioned and Bhavna mentioned, Stellar Banking is working on their banking app, and they've built out their core process for the new account opening. But they have 3 key integrations that they're interested in building. First, they want to use AWS Textract to extract information from documents like driver's licenses and passports and map them into their cases. Next, they want to use Equifax to get a credit score of their applicant. And finally, they want to obtain digital signatures using DocuSign. Now, while they've built out their overall case type, they haven't done any work on these 3 integrations. That's where our boosters are going to come in. So let's take a look at how these 3 boosters are going to accelerate the speed at which Stellar Banking can add these capabilities to their app. All right. So to get started, we browse the list of boosters and find the booster we want to install. We're going to start with DocuSign. With a single click, you select the application, click Install. A few seconds later, all the rules for this booster have been added to a branch. Now, as we install the rest of the boosters, I wanted to mention that we don't just provide the booster itself, but we provide usage instructions and installation steps to make it really easy to integrate these boosters into your app. So with all 3 boosters installed, we're going to click View Branch. It's going to bring us right into Launchpad, where we can see all of the rules that were installed into this branch for those 3 boosters. So our next step is going to be to integrate the boosters into our workflows. So here we have the case designer, and we're going to start to integrate the boosters. Now, adding boosters to your application is a little bit different for each booster and each application. But generally speaking, you just have to select the right rule, usually an automation or a data page reference, and put it at the appropriate spot in your workflows. We've really worked hard to make it as simple as possible to integrate these boosters. So with our boosters now installed, we're ready to take them on a test drive. Here we go with the runtime for the account opening. We're going to create a new case and fill it in with some data for my alter ego, Jon Snow. We're going to start by uploading an ID for Textract to extract information from. So here we're going to see the ID. That is actually me. And we're going to extract that information directly into fields in the case. We can see that the fields mapped correctly. So we're going to say booster number 1 is a success. Now, booster number 2 is our Equifax booster. Pretty straightforward. We take the extracted ID, pass it to Equifax. Equifax returns us a credit score. Jon Snow has a credit score of 778. Not bad. We'll approve and move on to our next booster, the DocuSign booster. Now, the DocuSign booster generates a PDF and sends it as an email, as an attachment to an email, to our user, Jon Snow on Mars at gmail.com, where Jon Snow can click Review Document and go through the DocuSign process we've all probably done many times. Now, one of the really cool things about the DocuSign booster is it doesn't just send the email, it will actually let you wait for the signature and automatically attach the signed copy of that document to your case so that you can continue processing appropriately. So with that, we have just integrated 3 powerful capabilities in an application in just minutes. Thank you. Now, I do realize that that was a bit of a contrived example of installing 3 boosters really quickly, but I'm really happy to say that we have some real customers getting real value out of boosters today. So, one of those customers is Rulescom. Rulescom recently used the AWS Q-Index booster to integrate into their Converse AI app. Now, Q-Index is an AWS service that lets providers like yourselves access your customers' data using AI and natural language queries. So let's hear a little bit more from Brian Ratcliff, founder of Rulescom, about the value that the Q-Index booster brought to their application.
Converse AI is an application that can put a conversational agentic interface on any workflow-centric application by communicating with the workflow itself and your data to drive intelligent actions, resolve issues, and automate workflows. Here, I'm using Converse AI as an agentic interface for an application that runs licensing and permitting for municipalities. As a resident of the municipality, as an example, I am able to chat with the application to get a permit to install an outdoor kitchen in my backyard. To enable different municipalities to easily bring their own information to the multi-tenant application, we chose to use Amazon Q-Index. Q-Index securely indexes enterprise data from multiple sources and makes it easy for customers to integrate proprietary data into AI interactions. The install of the Q-Index booster took minutes, seconds, not hours, days. It was very, very simple to install. And the work that goes on in the background, creating the branch structure for you, ensuring that everything is set up correctly from a foundational perspective, absolutely invaluable and absolute quick speed to market.
All right, so that's a great story from Rulescom, and I'm expecting we're going to hear some more stories like that in the coming weeks. So let me just wrap up by saying I'm extremely excited about the concept of boosters and what they're going to mean to accelerating your businesses. You can go to launchpad.io/boosters today and install these boosters. I'll also be in this room over the next 2 days if you'd like to chat about boosters or Launchpad in general. And with that, I'm going to hand it back over to Jon, who's going to talk about how Launchpad isn't just here to help build your applications, but also here to help you with your commercialization efforts as well. Jon?
Thanks so much, Frank. Great job, great job. Vibe coding, Connect GenAI, boosters. I mean, this is just nonstop great things that we're sharing and releasing, which is awesome. So I guess I have to give the team, good marks on their mission. We've talked about the ease and speed of building, enhancing, and replacing SaaS solutions with Launchpad. Drew, Bhavna, and Frank have shown us amazing capabilities with AI and agents and boosters that simplify app development and help transform the way that your clients work. So thanks, Drew. Thanks, Bhavna. Thanks, Frank. Great job. But I'd like to close out now with a couple exciting things in the commercialization space. First, I am really excited to announce that today we have launched the Launchpad Marketplace on launchpad.io. This is a brand new space that's designed to showcase the applications that our amazing providers have made available to the market. Here you can see a listing of a small number of collection of our providers that have worked with us to start the marketplace. We can click in and see more information about the application, see a demo, and of course, we can even, contact the provider. The marketplace is new and young. It's featuring apps like we see here with Asaya and services from companies like AI for Process and Bluevoir who are available to support Launchpad providers. This space will grow, and it gives us an easier way to introduce your apps and services to the broader Launchpad community. And if you want to have your solution or your support capabilities listed on the marketplace, you can just click that little blue box. It'll show up in the top left-hand corner of launchpad.io. So welcome to the marketplace. And finally, I want to mention AWS. AWS and Launchpad have quietly partnered through the early years of our platform, which many of you know is actually hosted on AWS. And many of the things that we've shown today have only deepened that partnership. We have AWS services in our boosters. And the Connect GenAI capability that Bhavna showed has Bedrock models as our default LLM. And we're just starting joint promotion. We actually, on Friday, published our first joint blog. And today, I'm happy to announce that Launchpad is also now available on the AWS Marketplace, making it faster and easier for our providers with Amazon accounts to buy and work with Launchpad. But there are even more benefits for you as members of the Launchpad community, and to share some of those, I want to bring up Greg Eckert from the AWS partnership team. So, Greg, come on up here.
Hey,
Great to have you here, Greg.
Thrilled to be here.
Oh, so glad to have you here. This is great. Love the partnership that we're developing and the activities that we're getting going together. So.
You know, it's been really fun to co-build with both teams, right? We talked about these boosters. 7 of them are actually AWS services, and that's not including the Q-Index service.
Yeah, so what did you think about the Q-Index demo, Brian's demo?
Loved it. I know you have a slide up here. And when you go back and look at these agentic services that folks were developing, you look on the left, and we were building these RAG models last year where sometimes you build these apps and you'd ask it questions and they couldn't answer them, right?
Right.
And so customers asked Amazon, can you provide us a better way to connect to all of our customer services? And we came up with Q-Index. And so on the right-hand side, you see that customer environment. Any customer who has Q-Index installed can activate up to 40 different third-party applications for data access.
That's very cool. It's very cool, and it's great to see already the benefits coming to companies like Brian's that are integrating it. So that's great. So anyway, I talked about us joining the AWS Marketplace. So maybe you want to share some of the benefits with this group, Greg, of us being of the AWS. Why would the AWS Marketplace be interesting to the people who are here in this room?
I guess how many are familiar with Marketplace, AWS Marketplace? Oh, quite a few. Okay. So I won't spend too much time on this slide. 99% of Amazon's top 1,000 customers are using AWS Marketplace. We have some third-party analysts who are saying that the cloud marketplaces will grow to about $80 billion by 2030. And so there are these kind of central locations where you can find, buy, deploy, and manage your software subscriptions. And so we believe that this is kind of the future of procurement.
Great. And then, so for us, you kind of already covered off the why AWS Marketplace stuff, but for the folks in the room that are working with Launchpad, how is our partnership beneficial to them?
Sure. So there's a couple generic reasons, right? And number one is, as an ISV vendor, you want large enterprises to be able to deploy and procure your application very easily, right? And so by listing on AWS Marketplace, you ensure that you have standardized contracts. You can upload custom contracts too, but if you do standard contracts, it accelerates kind of that deployment model when you get to the last stage of the sale. And then throughout the consumption of your product, say you've been deploying for a year or 2 years, and these companies have 1,000 applications installed, through AWS Marketplace, they have this governance framework where they can manage your software, Launchpad, and any other purchases they have in their cloud landscape. And so generically, we have a number of benefits why folks would want to deploy. But specifically for the folks in this audience, if you're developing applications, you want to build on Launchpad because in order to list on Marketplace, it wasn't just that they used AWS services. They had to go through what we call a foundational technical review. And that means that these applications are built in an AWS well-architected framework. So Amazon has kind of validated and vetted that this solution is very robust for you to build on your platform.
That's great. Thanks, Greg. So I think what that does for the teams that are in here that are building on Launchpad, that deep technical review means that if you want to get yourselves onto the marketplace, Amazon is already familiar with the architecture of Launchpad and makes that a little easier for you as you go onto the marketplace.
Correct, and there is one more big benefit, which is Launchpad has been badged as all in on AWS, and that means those top 1,000 customers and anyone with the spend commitment on AWS can draw down on their commitment by buying your software from Marketplace if you decide to list.
That is a huge benefit for especially people who are selling into enterprise customers.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Greg, thanks so much. You're going to be around here for the week, right?
We'll be here. We have a booth. Come stop by and learn more.
Go see Greg at his booth, and if you ever want to catch up with him here too, we can bring him in to have a meeting with you on the Launchpad in the Launchpad room. Thanks so much, Greg.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay, so we've talked about how AI plus Launchpad's powerful platform equals the fastest and best place to build, replace, or enhance your SaaS applications and AI solutions. And we've talked about how infusing AI and agents and boosters into your applications can deliver benefits your clients could otherwise only dream of. And we've talked about the power of Launchpad Units and the new go-to-market opportunities that we're really looking forward to partnering with you all on. So I hope it's been a valuable journey for you so far. I can't wait to start or continue building great things with all of you.